Hello and welcome back to the RattleMind podcast. I'm Rye, and joining me as always is my co-host.
Can she?
Yeah, there we go. Sleepies. All right. Since we're all weird today, I'm going to talk about the things I do when I feel sick. I always go to one movie, and then I theme my sick time on that, which is I watch The Princess Bride. That is the first movie I watch when I'm feeling sick and I'm just having a lazy day in
Oh,
bed is The Princess Bride. And then I will watch any sci-fi fantasy movie after that or whatever I can find. Sometimes rom-coms.
yeah.
Rom-coms are good when you're
Oh.
sick. Now, if it's a weather-related issue like raining, I watch Goonies first and then I watch anything action adventure.
Okay, interesting. Is this like planned out like that, or is this just what comes naturally? Like your brain's like, nah,
This is
this
what
is
my
gonna work.
family has done since I was little.
Oh, okay,
Because,
interesting.
well, in Princess Bride, the whole reason he's getting the story read to him is because he's sick. So there's
Yep.
the connection to why I watch Princess Bride when I'm feeling sick and I'm
Mm-hmm.
lazing around in bed. Now, for the weather thing, Goonies is always a stormy-ish day, so they're overcast because they're in. Where are they? Oh God, I forgot what state they're in. Oregon,
I couldn't tell you.
Washington. I don't remember.
Sure.
One of those two. This is what happens when you're sick and you're recording 3 episodes of a podcast where you talk for half an hour each time.
Right.
So it's a more darker movie. It's not very bright, so it's fitting for a rainy day.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
The ambiance is gloomy, but the content is,
yeah, upbeat.
yeah, cheerful.
Now,
Yes.
another interesting movie that sometimes gets into the mix is the Father of the Bride movies. Now, I have not watched the third one. I've seen the first one in pieces. I've not actually sat down and watched it, but the second one I've always watched.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
And the thing that always gets into my head, doesn't matter, especially if I'm taking a poop. Every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you. Party pooper, party pooper. It just gets into my head every time I go to the
Is that
bathroom.
from Father of the
That's
Bride?
from Father of the Bride Part 2.
Okay. Oh, I've never seen 2 and 3, so
Okay.
that's that's so funny.
I mean, it's actually a song that's been around for quite some time, but
Oh, okay, okay.
as you
What's
can,
kind of neat?
yep.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But along the lines of, if I'm watching things during, along the lines of action adventure with Goonies, I suggest Jewel of the Nile.
Nope.
Yep, I
Completely
fig.
lost me there.
Okay, that's because it is a fairly old movie. We're talking, I think, late '80s, early '90s.
Oh, okay. There were some real gems from that era.
Yeah, it was like Goonies.
Inner Space, a
Yep.
highly unknown, underrated movie, and I freaking love Martin Short. So,
Yeah, Jewel of the Nile was made in 1985, the year I was born.
oh, nice. For me, the year I was born in '88 was my favorite movie from that year was Baron Munchausen, Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Please don't tell me you've never heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Oh, what a fabulous movie. It is so fantastic. Robin Williams was in it.
Oh, cool.
He was definitely in that. And it is so trippy. It is one of the trippiest movies you'll ever see. A lot of great actors, a lot of wild scenes, and all with like that 80s vibe, like editing and visual effects and stuff like that. Like it's quite an astounding movie. Everyone needs to watch it right now. So just stop listening, go watch Baron Munchausen,
Okay, pause us,
and
then go watch it, then come back and
yes,
tell us what you think.
exactly, exactly. Thank you. You read my mind. So, but that came out the year I was born, 1988, which I always thought was cool. So.
Yeah. Jewel of the Nile had, let's see, Michael Douglas as the male lead, and Kathleen Turner, and then Danny DeVito was in it as well.
Huh.
Um, Here's another thing. Another movie that is good to watch. That's a little odd. Um, but, well, actually, yeah. Romancing the Stone was the follow up to Jewel of the Nile. I forgot about Romancing the Stone, which all of them came back for. Um, but there's another movie I'm trying to think of. Uh, I gotta look up on IMDb. You're gonna drive me crazy this till I find it.
Oh no, you had to look something up. This
Ah, there
recording's
it is.
ruined.
Exactly. Um, a good movie that will still sticks in the whole, the weather thing is that Undercover Blues. It is a really funny spy comedy, basically.
Hmm.
The spy couple basically just had a child and they're going on their first trip, vacation, and their handler is trying to get them to come back to work already because, they've been off work for her having the baby and all that.
Mhm.
And so, in trying not to do the spy work, because they're in an area where they would be doing their mission, they inadvertently end up doing the mission just while they're on vacation. And the funny thing
Look.
is there is Stanley Tucci is one of the best parts of the movie because they make fun of the character's name all the time. His name is Muerte. So they go, "Oh, hi, Morty."
Oh.
So they basically make fun of him throughout the entire movie, and he's you getting physical comedy going on the entire time. And this is not something you expect from modern Stanley Tucci.
I thought that he was getting made fun of because that's the Spanish word
Oh
for
yes,
death.
yes it is. My name is not
Um,
Morty. It's Muerte. It means death.
that's great. Oh God, don't yell. You'll just die.
Yep, yep.
Right, don't die.
Uh, but I highly recommend watching it. But do not buy a copy of it off of Amazon until I get a copy of it because the only copy of it I have is the VHS copy. I need to get the
Copy.
DVD copy. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, it's
I'll
Dennis.
watch that if you watch Baron Munchausen.
There we go. Uh, they never look at the driver. Okay, yeah. So definitely, yes. Yeah, he foils a bank robbery because he knocks out the getaway driver and stuff. Yeah, it's a really great movie.
That's
If you need
fantastic.
a laugh and stuff, in fact, this is a good movie to watch on your day when you're feeling sick as well because, it'll pick you up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Birdcage has always been a good pick me up for me.
yeah,
I don't have like a specific like go to movie, but like, but there's some movies that I'll like see the title of or see a reference to or whatever, and I'll just be like, oh my gosh, that movie, like, and it just like pulls my heart so much.
yeah,
Like I love Birdcage. It is one of my all-time favorites. So that's definitely one of those feel goods for me. For the longest time, it was Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger. Ledger and
Matt Damon.
yeah, that's such a good movie. Oh, I love it. The Three Amigos.
Yep, that's always a good
Um,
one.
right. Um, if I really want to throw back to not just a movie that um we watched when we were kids, but like a movie that was made a very long time ago called The Great Race. Not to be confused with The Amazing Race, which was the show that came out,
Right.
that weird show. But um The Great Race was an old school movie about a race from, it was like uh in that movie setting, it was the first time ever doing like like cross the ocean kind of a race kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Like it was from New York to Paris, I think.
Tony
But
Curtis, Chuck
like,
and Natalie Wood.
yep, that's the one. It's so, you have to have an appreciation for classics like that to like make it through the whole thing, because the last time I tried to get a boyfriend to watch it, like he passed out like in the first like 10 minutes.
uh,
But there are a lot of like really quirky spots in it. And if I've ever yelled hit the button Max while we're gaming, it's from that movie. Hit the button Max.
uh,
Um, but
yeah,
it's very quirky and lovable, and it's an amazing movie.
I miss that
But that's
genre of
all.
movie.
Yeah, it was like, it was not even a musical or anything, but it was still long enough to where it had like an intermission, you know?
Yep.
It
Um,
had its own intermission and like a vocal choir kind of thing. It did have like a couple songs in it, I think. One notably called "The Love Tree" or "The Heart Tree" or something like that. But yeah, it's very heartwarming for me. I love it.
Here's one I'll recommend that is along the same lines as that is The Happiest Millionaire.
Oh no, I've never seen that.
It's from 1967. One of the things I like about it the most is they have pet alligators. And one of the plot lines is that someone left the windows open to the alligators area while it's because it takes place in Boston or somewhere around there. So
Hmm.
it was during winter time, so it was really cold, and the alligators' little pools froze. So they're trying to thaw these alligators and stuff.
Huh.
And then they're the alligators are literally running around the house after they thaw. And
I'm trying not to think of this as like animal neglect cruelty.
oh, it's
Because back then, like, it's such a quirky
yeah,
vibe, you know? So I have to like turn that part of my brain off for a second. Like, whoa, 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 it's okay. It's just a movie. Calm down.
yeah. Um, part
Like, who let their alligators freeze in a pool, you ass?
well, it wasn't an outdoor pool. It was inside in an atrium or a place where you grew
Oh,
plants
so it
and
was like
stuff.
an actual, like, habitat.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it wasn't
Okay.
as good as you would expect for modern times, but it was
Right,
what you would
right, right.
expect for whatever era they were portraying because they weren't actually portraying the
Right.
60s. They were portraying, I think, the 1930s or something like that.
Right, that makes sense.
Um, but it is a good, funny thing. It is a musical, so there will be singing. I'll let you know about that.
Ooh.
Um,
I love musicals. I grew up on some My Fair Lady and Fiddler on the Roof and Cats and stuff, so.
the funniest thing is that uh, one like a little while after we moved away from the city and into this weird rural town that we live in now, uh, my niece wanted to watch it, and she was kindergarten age,
Oh, okay.
and
70.
she literally sat and watched it the entire time. And
Oh.
this is a 2.5 hour movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, when you said musical, I kind of pictured something.
Yeah, and it has an intermissions part to it as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up, is because it also included an intermission. But yeah, it is a really good movie. If you need a good laugh, watch it. Don't get butthurt over the stereotypes that they portray. It's all in jest. There is no black characters in it, so you don't have to worry about that. So don't worry about that. But there is Irish stereotypes, so there's at least that type of racism or classism or whatever it is.
You know, there was a such thing, kids, back in the day as all in good fun, and you could tell people were joking,
Yes.
and it wasn't a big deal. And even today, people of these ethnicities and races that you're defending don't find a lot of those things offensive.
Right.
So calm your tits, okay?
Like,
It's okay.
there is this one comedian stand up that I've seen on Instagram over and over where there's two black guys one and a white guy. The white guy apparently had borrowed money from one of the black guys. So the black guy is trying to get the money from the white guy, and he's like, "No, no, hold on, I'll get your money." And old time, just calm down, and then he'll point to the other black guy, and the black guy will say, "Inward." So it's literally it's the way to get around it is so funny.
I think I remember seeing or hearing about this or something.
Yeah.
It was a skit, right?
Yeah, it's just a skit, but
What was that on? Was that Dave Chappelle?
no, it wasn't Dave Chappelle. No, it was what I saw was an actual. They were on stage and doing the bit.
Oh, okay. I feel like that was based off of like a televised skit of some kind, but
It could have been, who knows?
I
But
could be
it's still
wrong.
hilarious.
Right, yeah.
And yeah, so remember, things are meant to be funny. Yes, they can be offensive, but comedy in its own right is always going to be offensive to somebody. It is not funny.
Offensive.
Yeah, comedy cannot survive without offending people.
It is an equal opportunity offender.
Yes. All right. But with that note, we're going to call this an end of an episode because we're back up to like 18 minutes.
Alrighty, yeah. Well, don't make us work too hard, people.
Yep.
Not this week. No, can't do it.
All right. So, thank you for listening, watching, whatever you've been doing. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you want to say on the way out?
I don't know. It's been so random. Just leave a comment, okay? It helps the channel. Just say something. I don't have anything specific to ask for. Just say something. Even if it's the word something.
Yes.
Like, I know some of you people. Ness, if you put something, just remember that you live with me.
All right.
I do want to shout out Ness, though, because she is one of our most consistent commenters.
Yep.
And I love you, Nez. Don't worry, you can put the word something if you must. I will allow it.
All right.
I love you all. Take care. Thanks for letting us be goofy and lazy this week. Bye.
Bye.